So, if you want to know what data is there, you go to the catalog. You can do this through a program, right? It's not you personally. Your program does it. And then there's metadata that describes it, that tells you where to go, and you can get access to it. So it's kind of like a map of all the data that's available. The second thing is authorization, right? So you want to be able to get access to the data. Excuse me, turn off the stupid phone. Who do you talk to? Who do you get consent from? How do you do this, right? So all of that is automated and standardized through ADX. The format, right? If you get data, very often the same data is represented in very different ways, right? You get data from different sources. You'll find can you go back for a second, please? Okay. It's represented in very different ways, and we standardize the way data is represented, and then finally provide a whole set of analytics capabilities, all kinds of machine learning capabilities, insights, quality metrics. So there's all kinds of ancillary data that's being generated about the data, and all of that is presented through standard APIs to standard data models. It's completely open source, right? So it's available for all. It's secure. It was kind of just validated, actually, by the Telangana cybersecurity team, and it doesn't store any data, right? So you may think it's a data exchange that's storing the data. Actually, the data is remaining with the owners of the data. What it is a front end that allows access to the data but does not store the data itself. And it is based on something that we have been working on for the past 4 years called India Urban Data Exchange, which we did in conjunction with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. That is actually deployed in 38 cities. So the underlying infrastructure is actually very sound, very stable. Of course, there are a lot of differences between agricultural data and urban data, but the basic underlying infrastructure is rock solid. So let me just go on. I mean, I'm not going to go through much more detail. If you go to hopefully the minister will launch this very soon. You will see the screen. This is the ADX front screen. You can click in. You can do this in your own time. Go to dataexplorer.adx.org.in. You'll see all kinds of data, right? And this is just an example of some of the data that's there. The only thing I'll point out is you'll see a little blue button and a green and an orange button. The blue button says the data is personal. So you have to get consent for the data, right? So that's automatically taken care of by ADX. So you have to go ask the farmer, am I allowed to get this data? It's Raitu Bandhu data. It's personal data. The green data is public. Anyone can get access to it. The orange data is private in the sense that it's not personal data, but it is owned sometimes by a private provider or sometimes by a state agency. And it is offered either on some commercial terms or it is offered only based upon authorization. So this gives you a sense of that. This is just a drill down. I'm not going to talk about it. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so this is the most important part, right? Building a platform by itself is of very little value. What is important is for us to get people to work with us. And we have done that actually quite a bit in the past year. We have a whole set of agricultural information users, which means people building applications. You just heard them, just before I spoke, building very exciting, innovative applications on top of our system. And we have a whole bunch of people providing data, right? Some of them are Telangana State, some of them are national, some of them are private, all kinds of different players. And since it's open source, we have the opportunity to collaborate. This is not one team building this. This is an ecosystem of technical collaborators building. So we have systems, we have partners in that area. So anyway, I'm going to stop here, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Inder. I would now like to invite on stage J. Satyanarayana sir, who would be speaking on the roadmap of ADX.
Honorable Minister for IT, Shri KT Ramarao Garu, Principal Secretary Jayesh Ranjan Garu, and all the dignitaries present here. Really, it's a kind of red letter day for me personally in this journey. It's an important milestone crossed in the digital agriculture space, not only in Telangana but this is significant for the whole country. I must compliment and congratulate the entire team which worked for 1 year plus on this project, with 100 plus meetings on a weekly basis that we held. And I was mentioning somewhere that except 1 or 2 meetings which I missed, I attended all of them. It has been my privilege also. What is great about this, I would like to spend a few minutes. One is, they say that data is the new oil, is the oil of the digital economy. The normal oil, gets exhausted once you use it for a few miles, while the new oil, which is data, it can be reused by multiple agencies for multiple purposes at multiple times, multiple geographies. So that is the significant difference that we have. And we know in economics that the strength of the economy increases proportionately as the circulation of the money that drives the economy increases. The more the velocity and the more the quantity of the money that is driven, the bigger is the economy. What is the counterpart in digital economy? It is the data. As we just mentioned, it is the, drives the digital economy, the data. So the data needs to be more voluminous and move with more velocity and more veracity. How does it happen? It doesn't happen on its own. So if you have that is the precise space and role for the edX. It makes data move faster, move in different directions. A 1:1 exchange suddenly becomes N:1, end-to-end exchange of data. Right? Precisely on the age-old principle of telephony, which is, an N:1. Anyone you can pick up the cell phone today and call somebody in US and you are there. So edX is playing that kind of a role. It's a very significant part it is going to play in the data economy. We all talk about data economy, but one of the key pillars there is the data exchange, which I'm happy we are crossing a very important milestone today. Now it's not a standalone thing that we are doing to the government of Telangana has really done a remarkable thing. It's one of the a package of 5 initiatives, I would say, which is edX and Agriculture Data Management Framework, which is the policy support to exchange of data, so that exchange happens in a responsible way, in a streamlined way, and in a transparent way, and in an efficient way. So that is the meaning which is also getting launched today. And we have also Sagu Bagu at the ground level in Khammam district, which is into its 2nd season, is a 3rd initiative. 4th one is a sandbox, which is in the making right now, so that the startups can validate their own solutions in several different ways. And the 5th and last one, but one of the very significant ones, is AgriJSON, is a data format we have created jointly with the IAC and Government of Telangana, which is going to really be a standard not only for national but global level. How do you define the agriculture data is the subject of AgriJSON. It's kind of a new agriculture data language that we are creating in the process. So this 5 is a great combination which makes a huge difference to the country and to the world. Now one little thing I would like to mention, that edX is a platform, it doesn't directly help the farmers. It is through the use cases. We have seen a few use cases before. It is the startups that make use of edX and then provide services to the edX directly doesn't interact with the farmers, is one distinction. It's a kind of a B2B or a startup to in another agency platform, and not a B2F for a G2F kind of a platform. It's more like a B2B platform for exchange of data. Now, going forward, what are we looking at? What is the roadmap for the future? How does it grow, and what are the great things it can do in future? I would only name 3 things in this area. Today we are starting with approximately 5, 5 and 5. 5 providers of data, 5 users of data, and 5 use cases. The first aspiration for this will be, it should become very soon 50, 50, 50. 50 agencies providing data minimum, 50 agencies taking that data and providing 50 use cases which are useful to the farmer is number 1 on the next milestone that we have to hit. Second is integrating with the agri stack of the government of India, because at the end of the day, agriculture is the products flow across the country and across the borders to the other countries also. So we need to integrate with the agri stack initiative of government of India. We have had a discussion and demonstration with the ministry last week, and it's going to happen soon. And third is, we need to position it as a DPI, digital public infrastructure, which is an idea which is gaining ground globally very soon. This will be a DPI. Then what do we need to do? Quickly, a minute. Dreaming is fine, but you need to work backwards to make that dream a reality. What are the 3 things that we need to do to make it happen? Number 1, the implementation of the policy framework by establishing the necessary structures under the policy so that they take the decisions in time is the first thing. Second is the institutional structure for managing edX. Okay, today IAC has done it with its own team and platform, and government of Telangana has done it. But it cannot be done on a part-time basis. It should be done exclusive through a small dedicated institution. Institutionalizing it for managing is important. And third is an operational model for it is very important. So at the end of the day, I would say that it will make news and be useful nationally and also internationally as an initiative in the digital agriculture space. And the World Economic Forum, I'm proud to be associated on multiple fronts, is compliments the government of Telangana in the successful launch of these 2 initiatives today. All the best, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. J. Satyanarayana, sir, of course, is the Chief Advisor to World Economic Forum. We will now go ahead with the launch of the Agriculture Data Management Framework. So I would first like to invite Raghunandan, sir, to give a quick overview of the ADMF. Okay, in the interest of time, we'll just go ahead with the launch. I would like to invite on stage Shri KT Ramarao Garu, Minister, Honorable Minister for IT, Industries and MA&UD. And also Shri Jayashranjan Garu, Principal Secretary for IT NC Department, and Raghunandan Rao Garu, who is the Secretary for Agriculture Department. Yeah, and Professor Inder Gopal Garu to join on stage, and J. Satyanarayana sir as well. Yes. Yeah, that is the launch of the Agri Data Management Framework. Thank you, sir. Now we will quickly move on to the launch of the Agri Data Exchange platform. I would now request Minister Sir to launch the edX platform formally. So I would request Honorable Minister Shri KTR Garu to now give a quick overview of the project and what Telangana is working on to all of you.
Thank you, Maurya. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Satyanarayan Garu. Thank you, Rama Devi Garu. Thank you, Shri Jayesh Ranjan, to our Agriculture Secretary, Shri Raghunandan Rao Garu, our former Vice Chancellor of Agri University, Professor Jayashankar Shri Praveen Rao Garu, to all the distinguished audience who are gathered here, to to all the stakeholders, startups, and to the data providers, and to everybody. It's a pleasure, honestly, to be a part of this esteemed gathering. Unfortunately, our Honorable Minister for Agriculture, in fact, had conveyed to me that he could not join because of some pressing engagements back in his district. So on behalf of him as well, I would like to greet you, and I'd like to acknowledge his respects to all of you as well. Agriculture, as you all know, in fact, has been one of our most important and priority sectors in the state of Telangana in the last 9 years, ever since the state came into being. More than 56% of the state, actually, as a population, if you look at it, is dependent directly on agri and allied sectors for their livelihoods. An estimated 60 lakh farmers with an average land holding size of 2.27 acres cultivate nearly 50% of the state's geography, almost 1.4 crore acres of land. Given the importance of food and allied sectors, it is important for Telangana and for all of us to ensure technological penetration into this sector is made as much possible, and ensuring that these interventions affect every single farmer to improve and benefit the way they go about doing their job. In fact, our Honorable Chief Minister, he himself is a farmer. He comes from a family of land holding family, and it's again a family that has been involved in farming for a very, very long time. So he understands the nuances, he understands the challenges that an Indian farmer faces in today's world. So whenever we go to him, each and every time, me, Jayesh, or any of us for that matter, go to him, or Raghu Garu, any of us, our Agri Minister, we go to him, and when we are always excited when we hear things like a data platform, a framework, and a data exchange, a first of its kind, etc. So we go to him with all exuberance. The one question he has unfailingly always is, how is this technology actually going to help a man on the ground who does not understand a single line of code that gets written, who does not understand technology, who does not understand the word startup? How is this going to help him achieve better utilization out of what he does on a day-to-day basis? So let me just give you quickly 3 or 4 things that have happened in the state of Telangana, which is now led to this very good problem for us to have. Telangana was, subject to correction, was ranked, I think, 24th in terms of our agri output when the state was formed. In fact, we were ranked 15th, I think, in paddy production back in 2014. But now, as of this year, we are ranked number 1 in the country, surpassing Punjab and Haryana in paddy production. Now, how did this happen? This happened because of a bunch of things, especially because of our Honorable Chief Minister's tenacious efforts. The first and foremost thing he has done, if you look at the topography of Telangana, it's very unique. We have 2 lifelines, the rivers, running at almost 80 meters and 100 meters above sea level, while the entire terrain of Telangana, the entire farming lands of Telangana are much above, 200 meters, 300. In fact, the highest is about 670 meters. The only way for us to be able to tap the water which goes unutilized into the ocean is to be able to lift this water from a lower ground level, and lift it all the way up to a higher ground level. And that's exactly what we have done. We have built, we keep hearing about how the Chinese engineering capabilities are so good that they can get things done quickly. But let me tell you, my friends, I don't know how many of you know this, especially those of you who are from out of town. Please pull out your phone and Google the world's largest lift irrigation project. It is the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project in our own country, in my state, Telangana, which we have built flat in 4 years. Now this is a record of sorts that most of us do not know. There's one single project where we lift water at about 80 meters above sea level from river Godavari and take it all the way through multiple stages of lifting, powered by mega pumps, of course, utilizing massive amounts of electricity without a question. We lift it all the way to 618 meters to the highest reservoir that we have built, about 50 kilometers from Hyderabad. Now, what has this project done? What this project has done essentially is, like I said, it spans, it's a massive project, it's the world's largest. It cuts across 13 rural districts of Telangana and utilizing a canal network of more than 1800 kilometers, canal network which includes both tunnels and surface channels. This one project single-handedly has turned the fortunes of Telangana, resulting in our state becoming a leader in agri production today. Not only this Kaleshwaram project, but today I'm also happy to share with you the arid, dry region of Telangana, the southern Telangana, which is Mahbubnagar, primarily Mahbubnagar district, the erstwhile Mahbubnagar district, was a parched area. In fact, it was known as a district with all migrant labor, where every single year, unfailingly again, about 14 lakh Mahbubnagar young men and women would migrate in search of better livelihood because there was no water. They would travel to every construction site in the country, and the popular word that was used to recognize them was Palamuru labor. They were called labor or construction workers from Palamuru, which is also known as Mahbubnagar. In fact, Mahbubnagar was one of the most backward and parched districts in the entire country. In fact, if you look at the top 10 most backward states, most backward districts in the country, Mahbubnagar again always was there in the top 3 or top 5, which is a dubious list, I know, but it was always there. That's how bad things were. 14 lakh people migrating from this district and backward region, not because the people aren't hardworking, not because there isn't enough land, purely because there was no source to cultivate those lands, or purely because there was no water. Now today I'm happy to share with all of you. Just yesterday we got the clearance, the environmental clearance, for another massive lift irrigation project called as the Palamuru Rangareddy lift irrigation project. This is going to change the fortunes of this entire landscape of about 3 erstwhile districts in Telangana called as Mahbubnagar, Rangareddy and also Nalgonda. All this will result in more of agri-produce and more of horticulture products coming our way in days to come. The reason why I mention this is because today Telangana has a unique challenge. We have a problem of plenty. We procure every grain of paddy that is produced in the state, unlike any other state in India. No other state in India procures every single grain that is produced at MSP by the farmer. So what does this do? While it's good for the farmer, there are a number of interventions I can tell you about. We are the only state in India which provides 24/7 free power to our farmers. We have more than 30 lakh borewell connections which basically take up a lot of this free power. Every year, we spend nearly 12,000 crores of Indian rupees, 1,000 crores per month, purely on one single thing, and that is free power to farmers and farming sector. Besides free power, we also ensure, our Chief Minister, in fact, has become the first Chief Minister and first public representative to have come out with a very novel scheme of providing farm input assistance to our farming community. I'm very proud to say this. A unique initiative called as Raitu Bandhu, which provides a farm input assistance of rupees 5,000 per acre per crop cycle. I mean, if you take 2 crop cycles, it's 10,000 rupees per acre per annum. We are the only state in India which has directly deposited 73,000 crores of Indian rupees into the accounts of about 70 lakh farmers in the last 7 crop cycles. We're the only state that has done that. Not only farm input, we are the only state in the world, not India, in the world, to be providing a life insurance to the farmer. of 5 lakh rupees in the event of an unfortunate death, even if it's a natural death. We're the only state in the country that actually deposits a sum of 5 lakh rupees into the nominee's account within a matter of 10 days, and this is powered by LIC. I can go on. We have ensured that we are the seed capital and seed bowl of India. So we provide seeds at an appropriate time. We also have ensured that the fertilizers are made available. We've also ensured that sustainable practices have also been introduced to our farmers, and we provide abundant water supply. What has this resulted in? This has resulted in 5 different revolutions unfolding in rural Telangana. Some of you, those who may be surprised because you may not have heard about this before, let me tell you, these 5 revolutions are unfolding in the hinterland of Telangana. The first, of course, is Green Revolution. Like I said, we are now the state that leads the country in paddy production. Our cotton quality is the best in India compared to the cotton of Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat. Our cotton quality is the best. This is not me saying it. The Southern India Mills Association has come forward, has done some research, and has certified that Telangana's long staple cotton is the best. Of course, they've given us a couple of advices. They said you have to reduce the contamination because you're using gunny bags. They also advised us to brand it so that, in today's world, everything is PR and branding. So they said you have to brand it and sell it better. We're also going to do that. The green revolution that has been ushered in Telangana is truly tremendous, and we are super proud. The second revolution that has also unfolded is the blue revolution. I was in Minnesota a few years ago meeting the governor there on some occasion. I'm also the Minister for Industry, besides being the Minister for IT. So I was telling the governor, Minnesota is called the land of 10,000 lakes. So I told this governor, I said, we have more than 46,000 lakes and tanks in my state. He was zapped. He said, really? I said, yes. So not many people knew that the lakes and tanks, which are because of the undulating topography and which were necessitated back in the day, because water could not be brought up, have been the mainstay of agriculture and farming in Telangana. And after the state formation, we have focused on strengthening these tanks through a program called Mission Kakatiya. The reason why I mention this is because lakes and tanks have dual benefits. One, of course, they add to the agriculture capacity of agriculture expansion. And secondly, of course, they also recharge the groundwater. And thirdly, most importantly, they're also havens for fish culture. So today, Telangana is the #1 state in inland fisheries in the entire country, which has ushered in a blue revolution. Now, the third revolution I'll also tell you about is another very interesting intervention. A white revolution. Now, what is white revolution? We all know dairy. Now, every farmer in Telangana, like I said, when I mentioned the number, the land holding is very small. So when Prime Minister talks about doubling the farmer's income, how is it going to be doubled? It is going to be doubled when you are able to give them farm input, when you are able to give them a lot of interventions, support through a lot of interventions, and also add all the allied sectors and make sure that additional income that comes to the family in the form of dairy, in the form of poultry, etc., augments the base income. That's exactly what we have done. We give an incentive of 4 rupees per litre if you supply milk to our government dairy, the Vijaya dairy. As a result, today, the government dairy, which was in losses when we took office, has now started giving us a dividend of more than 30 crores every year, because it has now turned profitable, helping both, creating a win-win formula for the dairy farmers, for the families, and also for the company itself. That has ushered in a white revolution, creating more income, more employment opportunities, and more business opportunities, of course, in the form of dairy products, etc. The fourth revolution I'll tell you about is a pink revolution. Now, Telangana government also has started focusing on sheep rearing and encouraging sheep rearing. We have started a program through NCDC, and as a result, we spent nearly 11,000 crores of rupees. Today, our livestock population has doubled, highest for any state in the country, resulting again in 2 things. One, of course, additional income for the sheep rearing communities in the rural areas, and also in meat processing opportunities, which is basically pink revolution. And the fifth revolution that we are focused on, we all know the edible oil consumption in India currently is all dependent heavily on imports. Now we want to change that. We want to be the torch bearer in India. So therefore, we have started promoting oil palm in a big way. That is the yellow revolution that we are trying to usher in. The target is ambitious. In the next 5 years, we want to see 20 lakh acres of Telangana's farmers cultivating oil palm. And we are offering massive incentives and subsidies, etc. And of course, as you all know, oil palm also allows for intercropping. So till such time as the oil palm comes up and starts paying off, you can also use it for intercropping and making subsistence. So all these 5 revolutions, the green, the blue, the white, the pink, and the yellow revolutions, are going to usher in more prosperity and more opportunities in the rural Telangana. Therefore, this becomes that much more important. Therefore, the opportunities to come in with tech interventions, the opportunities to leverage data and provide useful tools for farmers to also improve their projects. You mentioned, Sir Satyanarayan Garu, Sagu Bagu. Now, Sagu Bagu is a project we do with the World Economic Forum. Sagu Bagu is, in fact, in English, if I have to say, it was named, I think, AI for AI. Agriculture Innovation through Artificial Intelligence, or Artificial Intelligence for Agriculture Innovation. Now, this is what is the need of the hour. When Satyanarayan Garu said, data is the new oil, of course we've heard it before. But what I liked in what he said, that old oil is going to end someday. It is going to be gone someday, fossil fuel. But this new oil, that is the data, the more you load in, the better it is. Because the outcome of machine learning, the outcome of artificial intelligence is based on how much data they have. Predictability, analytics, everything else that comes with it is a factor of how much data there is and how valuable inputs we can actually, create out of this. And I'm delighted that, this project today, especially, the ADEX and ADMF have, after painstaking efforts from all the stakeholders, thank you to each and every one of you, Rama Garu, Satyanarayan Garu, Professor Garu, everybody, the Agriculture Department and to the IT Department, my compliments to all of you. I'm delighted that I was able to launch it in front of all of you. Some of the projects that we have done in the past have also been quite useful, have been path-breaking. We also had done a project called as Data and Climate Resilient Agriculture. One of the things I'm constantly, because I represent a rural constituency, where the farming is expanded in a big way like everywhere else in Telangana. One of the things that always bothers me, now with climate change becoming a norm, but climate change really becoming a huge challenge for all of us, cutting across our cities, which are now, where we see urban flooding every so often. Climate change has also resulted in, unseasonally, hailstorms for farmers, affecting their crops, floods, in some cases flash floods, cloud bursts. So all these things, when I see them, I keep thinking, how can we use technology for betterment, better planning, better predictability? Because, the more data we have, the better, in terms of our awareness, our preparedness, in terms of handling any such disasters. So we have done some good work on that front as well. Now, we have also done several other things which I can tell you about. But I think today, I'm really proud that the team together has worked and kick-started this agriculture data exchange platform, which is India's first, I'm told, digital public infrastructure in agriculture. I think they deserve a big round of applause for that. Now, with the onset of new AI use cases such as generative AI, there is an immediate need for the availability of large, standardized data sets and APIs for the farmers and agriculture industry in India to benefit from this growth in technology. ADEX as a platform provides an interface where peer-to-peer data sharing can be enabled, not just between users in Telangana, but also for developers from across the world to work on solutions that benefit farmers here in the state of Telangana and also by extension in India. The platform also works in a way to ensure personal data is protected and that there is transparency in the data exchange, and I think that's extremely important. Whenever we talk about a data exchange, whenever we talk about large data sets, there is always the concern of privacy, there's always the concern about consent. And I'm delighted that you've actually showcased it here, that there is public data sets, there is private, there is with consent, etc., etc. I think that is extremely important. My compliments to you guys on that as well. Making sure, that the partners who are ready with these solutions, like Satyanarayan Garu said, from 5-5-5 to 50-50-50. I think amplification and user cases helping us. Because ultimately, if the farmers start finding benefit, because the farmers in India are quite progressive, quite receptive to new things, new ideas, but they need demonstrated experience. They need, we have all the Krishi Vignan Kendras and we have a number of other such facilities, but unfortunately, most of the learning for farmers is from peers. So we need that buy-in from farmers at a peer level. If you're able to give them that confidence that in a village, if one guy has done it, why would you not be able to do it? If you give that kind of a fillip, I think this is going to work beautifully. I think as we have seen a few minutes ago, a few partners are already developing solutions based on data sets that are being made available on the ADEX platform. We have seen solutions in market advisory, credit advisory, and pest advisory. Again, these are areas where farmers are in dire need of information. I would also like to sincerely thank our partners, the World Economic Forum, the Indian Institute of Science, and the partners that developed and showcased active use cases for us to witness ADEX's potential. Now, coming to the data management framework, like Satyanarayana Garu said, we need a proper framework and a policy to be able to support an exchange, a data exchange. As the need for collection and use of large data sets is increasing, it is imperative for governments, it is imperative from the large stakeholders' perspective to have proper guidelines and proper policy framework to ensure, most importantly, ethical collection and processing of agriculture data. Because you would think, or at least, I wouldn't say all of us, but some of the technology guys would think that farmers are gullible. It's easy, to part with data, to get data. But I think it's important for us to be ethical when we collect this data and use it to good effect for their benefit. Hence, Telangana has worked on the Agriculture Data Exchange Framework in collaboration with the WEF. I'm thankful to WEF. Every year we're there at Davos, meeting them, encouraging WEF to work with us. I'm delighted that this important sector, agriculture, has also received their partnership. Currently, there are no clear regulations on collection and usage of data in agriculture. There are very few startups and innovators that can work on new solutions. Uncontrolled collection and use of data will cause concerns among farmers and potentially could invade their privacy, and this is exactly what we wanted to avoid by way of this framework. The Digital Personal Data Protection Bill that was recently passed in both Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, and the Agricultural Data Management Framework will bolster the regulations around agri-specific data and promote innovation in this space. The ADMF works on carefully curated guiding principles ranging from providing notices prior to data collection and consent-based processing of data to technological and operational safeguards. The ADMF also ensures that farmers' right to privacy is always respected, and the two-tier grievance redressal mechanism will ensure that any farmers in distress have quick and fair resolution to their issues. So I compliment the team, in conclusion, on launching both ADEX and ADMF. Of course, like Satyanarayana Garu said, data is the new oil in the tech world today. But data is also one of the most expensive and important resources to further innovate and further help humanity. Both ADEX and ADMF provide the right platform to ensure fair and efficient usage of agriculture data by industry and startups, and provide a big boost, most importantly, in the data economy, specifically to our farmers who much need it. I compliment the Agriculture Department, our Agriculture University for partnering this. These initiatives, I hope, will help millions and millions of farmers. And once again, I'd like to thank all of you for making the time today to the launch, and appreciate all the efforts put in by Rama Devi Garu and the entire team of Emerging Technologies team, and all the partners that have helped make these projects a reality. But this is just the beginning, let me add. It's easy to create solutions. It's easy to come out with the tools that can help. What's more important is to get the buy-in, to get the confidence. To that effect, I request Agri Department primarily, please help the startups get proof of concepts. Please help them reach the farmers in such a way that they understand that this is a complementary effort, this is something that is going to help them, this is something that is going to help further their livelihoods. Thank you very much. Jai Telangana, Jai Hind.
I would request Honorable Minister Garu to stay on the stage for a few minutes. We'll do a quick photo op with all of the partners. I would also invite on stage Jay Sir, Raghunandan Sir, Rama Ma'am, J. Satyanarayana Sir, of course, Dr. Inder Gopal, and all the use case partners, the data providers, Telangana State Development Planning Society, Krishi Tantra, Agriculture Department, and the India Meteorological Department. And the use case partners Napanta, One Money, Nairuti, the Agri Collaborative. Thank you, everyone. Those here from the press, you can collect.